Thank you, and we're ready to go racing. NASCAR Winston Racing Series style with the Gatling's front. Looks them over. We're going 10 very fast laps. Out of turn 4, the field looks good across the line. Green comes out. Oh, look out! Disaster on the front straight. Immediate yellow. Tough to say exactly what happened. Reno's car looked to appear pitched sideways, and it caused a literal chain reaction down the front straight. Numerous cars leaving Barry to stay out onto the race. Second or third place position in that event. Keep your eyes on him. On a turn 4, the green comes out. We're up to speed now and racing. Down the back straightaway, Chuck Kessler with the Midway Parts and Service. Coastal Racing Centers 91 holds on a lead. Cragen in second, and look at this. Sheet metal hanging off the side of Audie's automobile could present a hazard, and the black flag comes out. The black flag will go to Barry Audie, who's already thrown a piece of that fiberglass on the Racing Service. He wisely slows down. We'll have to go in the pits and have that removed, and we'll be out of the event. Unfortunately for him, the yellow comes out because of the sheet metal in turn 1, or I should say the fiberglass. So we're off to somewhat of delay. Pilot and Midway Parts and Service 91 pushes the go button. We're out of 4. Now we're up to green flag racing speed. Into 1 and 2. Kessler holds that point position. Here comes Glenn Galt to the outside of the Scanlon Clinic 42 of Cragen. Cragen with that Twin County Chevrolet dealer, Scanlon Clinic, Casa Fire Equipment 42 trying to hang on a second, but Galt's on the move. Glenn Galt works to the outside of Cragen. They dive into turns 1 and 2. Working that outside groove, Glenn Galt, the hover to high pilot, moves into the bridesmaid position, sets his sights on Chuck Kessler. They work through 3 and 4. Galt now grooms the low side of this speedway. Kessler up high. Here comes Galt down under that yellow line. On the front straightaway, Glenn Galt trying to set up, and Kessler closes the door on him in turns 1 and 2. Fades up high in turn 2. Here comes Galt to the low side. Cannot take advantage of it. Chooses to remain behind the back bumper, the Kessler Lumber 91. Charlie Cragen not letting Galt run away with it. Tries to go low on him. Cannot do it. Up high goes Kessler. Here comes Galt. Into turns 1 and 2, and Chuck Kessler closes the door once again on Galt. Galt tries to work that low side of straightaways. Now he stays tucked behind the back bumper on the back straight. A distant fourth is the 76 of Dave Wade, watching this action unfold in front of him. This time around, the cross flags. 5 laps down, 5 remaining. Kessler again closes the door on Galt. Each and every time down the front straightaway. Now he's trying to do it on the back straight. Galt goes to the low side. Here comes Kessler. It's a literal drag race into turn 3. Galt sneaks under the low side on Kessler's automobile. It's a wrestling match out of turn 4. Here comes Cragen. Galt works that low line down the front straightaway. Into 1 and 2, and Chuck Kessler still hanging it out high, wide, and handsome. Galt continues on that low line. Kessler comes back on the outside. There's Cragen right there to take advantage of any miscue. We're wheel to wheel, lug nut to lug nut. Galt gets squirrely. Kessler, we're trying to make it 3-1 out of 4. Down the front straightaway continues to be Galt with a half a car length over Chuck Kessler. Now Kessler gets out of the groove, and Cragen sneaks up to the low side of Chuck Kessler as Galt takes over the point position. Charging Charlie Cragen, working for that bridesmaid spot. Chuck Kessler up high. Here comes Cragen. Galt in command with this event. 2 laps remaining. We work into 1 and 2. The Drain-powered Port City chassis machine of Glenn Galt by 2 car lengths over this battle for second, which sees Cragen to the low side of Kessler's automobile. They run fender to fender, lug nut to lug nut, and here comes Cragen. Cragen muscling out of turn 4, the white flag, 1 remaining. And charging Charlie Cragen brings the Cooney Cole Casa Fire Equipment 42 into second. Not so fast. Here comes Kessler again. Kessler working that outside groove very well early in this racing activity, and now Cragen begins to close in on Galt. This time around, though, it'll be for the checker. Glenn Galt will hang on to it. Charlie Cragen finishes second. Third goes to Chuck Kessler, and a distant fourth to Dave Wade in the Valvoline Club 76. So Glenn Galt hangs on. 84, John Sandquist from Austintown. Now 36 is Tom Erickson. I don't think we're going to get a start. Field this year. Here we go, out of turn 4, the field tightens up, the green comes out, and we are up to speed in racing. Into turns 1 and 2, Lonnie Vaughn with his hands full on the outside, comes Danny White, Bobby Henry looking for a racing room, Gellner falls back through the field. In the 22, here comes Tim Ice. Ice in that Howell chassis. McCall's Auto Service 65 works the outside of Henry. Henry doesn't give him the racing room. Into turns 1 and 2. Danny White takes off with the early lead by 3 car lengths over the 03 of Lonnie Vaughn. Vaughn continuing the push in the middle of the turns. The 77 of Henry breaks through for second. Here comes the Iceman as he works around in 3 and 4 for third place position. Down the front straightaway, and Ice moves into third. Rick Miller in a Jim Dolan Chevrolet A1 Engineering chassis. Black 19 makes his move into fourth. Race fans, those backfires you hear in the turns are from the mufflers in these automobiles. This year we are running racing mufflers in all 4 Winston Racing Series divisions. Down the front straightaway into turns 1 and 2. Danny White continues to hold on to the lead by 3.5 car lengths over the Hodge Transmission 77 of Bobby Henry. Henry with 2 cars in the stable this year. This is their last year machine, the Lumina bodied car, and they have a brand new Camaro to do action with as well. Tim Ice continues to ride all by himself in third, but don't look now, looming ever larger in the blue 65's rear view mirror is that black 19 of Rick Miller. Miller closing in. We've got 4 cars beginning to make a battle for the point position. The halfway cross flag signal. 5 laps down, 5 remaining. No, sliding up high is Henry in this battle for second. Ice cannot take advantage of it. Danny White in that Ford-powered automobile out there continues to hold on to the point position. The 1992 Thunderbird body Port City chassis machine with 4 car lengths over Bobby Henry. Henry, meanwhile, has Tim Ice trying to autograph the back bumper. Henry's automobile in a torrid battle for the bridesmaid position. Rick Miller continues to watch this fight in front of him for second. Here comes the Iceman down low on Henry's automobile. Henry has the torque off the turn. Continues holding on to second. The Brooks Oldsmobile, Ed Nicholson and Sons Lover 77 continues in the bridesmaid spot, not able to challenge Danny White, but he has his hands full, holding off the Doylestown, Ohio pilot Tim Ice. Ice works to the low side out of 4. This time around, 2 laps remaining. Into 1 and 2, Tim Ice still looking for racing room under Henry's automobile. Henry slides up high out of turn 2. Here comes the Iceman, but Henry has the horsepower down the back straight and continues to hold on to the second place position. He slides up high again. Here comes Tim Ice. The white flag, 1 lap remaining. Rick Miller sitting comfortably in 4th place position, continues to watch this battle for second. Danny White taking his time down the back straight with command of this event. Our concentration is for the bridesmaid spot. White will take the checker out of turn 4. Here comes the battle for second. It's going to be Bobby Henry holding off Tim Ice, followed by Rick Miller in 4th. A distant 5th goes to Rich Duker. Rich Duker picking up 4th, and the top 5 being rounded out by Wheeling, West Virginia's Gary Gelder in a 22. For those of you who weren't with us last week, Rich Duker, as we continue the rest of the lineup after we get the green comes out. We're up to speed in racing. Ted Corbett is in the 72. Jason Bergman in a 33, and in the back of the field, another newcomer, that is Walter Albright. We turn our attention to turn 3. Bradley Cole takes off with a point position. This 77 of Kelly Shaw's hanging on to second. Down to the low side comes the 70 of Gib Pat. Keep in mind, race fans, that Gib Pat in the 70 out of Shadyside, Ohio was never raced until last week. Holding on to third. Now the Rapid one chooses to work the low side on him. The Mill Run, Pennsylvania pilot, Rapid Robert Arsenberger, goes into 3rd place position. Jamie Bergman out there having his hands full in the 33, the Transcare machine. We'll keep an eye on that automobile as he works in turns 2. Way up high near the outside retaining wall. He has to back off the throttle, gets into the oil dry material. Look at the battle for 4th place position. Gib Pat continues to hold off 2 outstanding pilots. The Cossos Racing Center's 50 Oldsmobile body machine of Bob Cossel, and outside of him in the VJ's Express 07 Jeff Dunbar. That's the best battle on the track down the back straightaway, almost 3 wide there as they work into turns 3 and 4. Well off the pace is Albright in the 60 as he becomes a lapped automobile. A rookie, former drag racer. His first time ever behind the wheel of an oval track machine, and my goodness, he's all over the place there right now. The battle for second looks to be a good one in turn 3. Robert Arsenberger works the low side of Somerset, Pennsylvania's Kelly Shaws and takes that position. Sets his sights on Bradley Cole. Arsenberger off into 2nd place position. We set our sights in the middle of the back straight now, working into turn 3 for the battle for 4. Your feature winner last week in the Pepsi Pro Stocks, Jeff Dumars, trying to work the low side of Bob Cossel's automobile. cannot make the move. They work into 1 and 2. Dunbar, dirt tracking the automobile, looks to the low side of Kossel down the back straight. The VJ's Express 07, that is a former Bob Kossel ride that Dunbar is wheeling here this afternoon. And the man who owned that car last year directly in front of him, Bob Sprott, Kossel III out of Connellsville, continues to hold on to the 4th place position. Here comes Dunbar. He tucks it, gets the car sideways, hangs on to it, but has to back off, relegating him to 5th. Albright out there just crawling around this racing service, as well as the 72 machine of Ted Corbett. Corbett out of Oil City, Pennsylvania. His first time ever racing as you see him now. Now this battle shapes up again for 4th. Look at Dunbar, he fights again, but Kossel will not let him have the position. And this battle is closed up to the back bumper Shaw's machine as we have the white flag, 1 lap remaining. Into turns 1 and 2. Our attention in this battle for 3rd place position. Dunbar trying to set up Kossel. They close up to the back bumper. Kelly Schultz. Ooh, we're going to make it 3 wide. No, Schultz doesn't allow it. This time around, the checker will come out for Bradley Cole. 2nd will go to Arsenberger. Here's this battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It will be Schultz, Kossel, and Dunbar. So Bradley Cole picks up the first qualifying, or I should say the only qualifying event this afternoon for the Pepsi Pro Stocks. A fellow who had a real bad crash during practice, Marty Edwards, has gotten his car back together. He missed opening day. And this is a move up for the graduated pure stock driver. And the 10, although that car looks familiar, is Gary Wilchot's. It's Bill Snyder out of Uniontown in it, driving for Gary Wilchot as he's moved up to Pro Stocks. Here we go. Green comes up. And it's waving, and we're racing into turns 1 and 2. State College, Pennsylvania's Ron Coral, high, wide, handsome, gets the car loose, and it allows the rolling route 33 of Komarinsky to sneak by for 2nd, but not so fast. Here comes Coral back. Meanwhile, the 74 Rick Jock's looking for racing room on the low side. He comes up and glues to the back bumper the 33 of Komarinsky. Jason Mignon and Mr. Stubbs, 66, continues on the point position. Way up high is Coral. That car not working on the low side of the racing service. He continues to fall back positions. McDonough now moves up to 4th. Into turns 1 and 2. Jock sits up to the outside of Komarinsky's automobile in the battle for the 2nd place position out of turn 4. The B&T Trucking 74 trying to make the move. Cannot do it. Komarinsky holds tight. Jason Mignon, one of our youngest drivers at 19 years of age out there, continues holding on to the point position. Here comes Rick Jock again. The Stoystown, Pennsylvania pilot looks to the outside of the 33 at Komarinsky. We've got a horse race going for the point position. Into turns 1 and 2. Mignon desperately trying to hold on to that lead position. He works the middle groove. Now Komarinsky chooses a low. Oh, we got to spin down the front straight all by himself. Schneider, the rookie, spins and brings the car to a stop unabated. From Pitt University prepares out of turn 4 to pick up the pace, and we're back to green and racing. And it turns 1 and 2. Komarinsky tries a bit to the low side on Mignon. He makes a low move. Here comes Jason Mignon back. He can't make it again. And John Komarinsky finds himself in the point position in that Monte Carlo Rolling Rock sponsor machine. Also sneaking through is Rick Jock and the B&T Trucking Black Specialties Bonds United Busch Beer Monte Carlo. He works that bridesmaid's position very close to the back bumper. Komarinsky as they work at turns 1 and 2. Komarinsky fades up high. Here comes Jock down low. They work side by side, diving into turn 3. Jock dives down low in a dive bombing move. Cannot make it yet. And oh, we get together in 3 and 4. Continue racing. Rick Jock continues fighting for that point position. Komarinsky up high, and Jock takes over the top spot from Komarinsky. Jason Mignon, 3/4 of a lap ago, his car came together with McDonough's 95. They've straightened out. Mignon continues in 3rd. McDonough in 4th place position. Ron Coral continues to sit 5th with the Valley Truck and Service 25 machine. Rick Jock is a man who, without Jeff Dunbar in this division, would have been dominant last year. Finds himself dominant in his qualifying heat as he separates himself 4 car lengths from the Rolling Rock 33 at Komarinsky. This time working around. We're going 10 laps. 6 are in the book. 3 remaining. A battle is shaping up for 2nd place position. Jason Mignon dirt tracks to Mr. Stubbs, 66, and that allows an opening to the low side. The window sees the 95 of Kim McDonough dive in here, and McDonough in the Mid-City Racing 95 pulls in to the 3rd place position, very close to the outside retaining wall. McDonough, who I thought was going to shake hands with the outside retaining wall half a lap ago, continues his pace. Now finds himself closing into the back bumper of your second place machine of John Komarinsky. McDonough has thrown out the fishing wire, hooked the back bumper of the Rolling Rock 33, begins to reel him in as we have the white flag on. 1 lap remaining for your lead automobile, Rick Jock. Jock will go to the low side of Schneider's Caddyshack 10, put a lap on him. Here comes this battle for second up to Schneider's lapped automobile. It could prove havoc for the efforts of McDonough. Let's see what he does with it. Jock will win this race. Here's the battle for second, and Komarinsky's able to use the lap traffic to hold off McDonough for second. McDonough is third. Fourth will go to Jason Mignon, and rounding out the top 5 is Ron Corral from State College, Pennsylvania. All the safety components as a Pepsi Pro Stocker Gatling's late model machine. Here we go. Field tightens up out of turn 4. Green comes on, and we're 3 wide at the start. As oh, look at this! Alan Angelicchio has problems on a Tasco 55. Sounded like he missed a gear shift. And oh, now that car's dirt track, and he may have some oil leaking out of that automobile. Meanwhile, smoke begins to pour out of J.O. Hay Jr.'s automobile, the 97, as we've got a battle for the point position out of turn 4. Audi holds on to it in rows number 75, and look at Mike Heminger. The North Star Equipment Holders Auto Repair 72, not to be intimidated. 2 pure stock competitors from the 91 season moving up to their maiden voyage, and Stoney's Light Street Stocks continue their own personal 2-car battle. Back in third place position, Danny Barron out of Greensburg, having his hands full. To the low side comes Randy Dietrich. Dietrich, a man who's raced only 4 times last year with no previous race experience, as we go into turn 1, and a change for the lead. The 72 of Mike Hemmer gets around Audi's car. It sounded to me like Brian Audi's car is missing. Sounds like a cylinder is not firing in that rows number 75. Listen to it again when it comes around. Sounds more like my old Jiffy Pop Popper than it does a racing machine. And he's gotten off the throttle. And holy smokes, it even sounds worse than that. Tough situation for Audi under the hood on the 75, as it's all Mike Heminger out there by his lonesome. The best battle on the track going by Audi into turn 3 is for second. Dietrich has it with the 88, the Fox's Pizza 1980 Monte Carlo machine. Oh, he has his hands full. Here comes Alan Angelicchio on the outside. Angelicchio works that high line with the Tasco 55 machine. Danny Barron out there dirt checking an automobile, smoke pouring from the right rear of his car, the primer color machine. Here comes Angelicchio. He works to the outside of Dietrich. They battle for the bridesmaid spot through 3 and 4. Out of turn 4 comes Angelicchio, and he tries to make it into that bridesmaid position. He's able to do it in 1. Let's see if he can close the door. No, he can't. Dietrich holds the window open to the low side. Angelicchio holds on to it, though, down the back straight, and the wild man is taking over the bridesmaid spot. All by himself is Mike Heminger in turns 1 and 2. Oh, look out. Danny Barron loops the car. He got into the oil dry in turn 4. Danny Barron was working up high in the speedway, and he probably got up into some oil dry that might have been placed there during practice or last week's action. Oh, button, here we go out of turn 4. Green unfolds, we're up to speed in racing. And now Dietrich goes to the low side of Angelicchio and is going to try to take back that second place position he lost a few laps ago. Heminger all by himself, almost an eighth of a lap and a half of a lap, green flag racing ahead of this personal 2-car battle for the bridesmaid position. Down to the low side goes Dietrich, hanging up high is Angelicchio out of turn 4. Oh, Dietrich gets a car. Oh, they get together. Look out on the front straight. Oh my goodness, trading some sheet metal and putting a donut on each other's door panels. And now I don't think Angelicchio wants to be intimidated. He goes to the low side on Dietrich's automobile. Oh, do we have a good battle here for the second place position? Both those automobiles trading back and forth and not bashful about making some cosmetic altercations to those automobiles. Into turns 1 and 2. Dietrich tries again on the 55 Angelicchio. I thought we were going to have a slide for life a couple laps ago on that front straight. All by himself is Boswell, Pennsylvania, as Mike Heminger, the 19-year-old pilot, gets the white flag. 1 lap remaining. And the North Star Equipment Holders Auto Repair 72. This battle for second has finally turned in to an open invitation for Randy Dietrich, as the 55 of Alan Angelicchio has fallen off the pace, and it sounds like that transmission problem at the start is affecting him again. The checker will go out to Mike Heminger and a very distant second to Randy Dietrich, and by virtue of no other machines on the track, the 55 Angelicchio will finish in the 3rd spot. An outstanding pilot. Last week she was really cola as we get ready to go. 8 laps to distance. It's up to the 24 Bickerstaff. Here we go. Green comes out. We're up to speed, and look at Burnell right up through the middle. Dave Burnell and the High-Tech Hobbies #1, the Flying Sign Painter, living up to his nickname, right up through the middle. From the middle of the pack up to second place position out of turn 2. Up high goes Judy Shawless, our lone female pilot in this qualifying heat, and she's having problems fading back through the field. Meanwhile, it's Jimmy Bickerstaff Jr. on the point position, followed by Burnell. Third place is Courtney Block. Here comes the Baron Trucking 28 of Sean the Bullet Bean. The Somerset, Pennsylvania driver in his 74 Ford Torino works the outside of the Wheeling, West Virginia pilot. Block down the back straightaway. It's a tussle for the third place position. Bean comes up with it as they work into turn 3. Sets his sights on Dave Burnell and Jimmy Bickerstaff Jr. as they fight for the lead out of 4. Deep back in the pack, Mark Griffith off the pace in the 71, slows and heads to the infield. Here comes Burnell. He dirt tracks that Monte Carlo to the low side of Bickerstaff out of turn 2. Burnell trying to come up with the lead. The Flying Sign Painter still working the low line. Bickerstaff hanging it out high, wide, handsome at turn 3. Here comes the Bullet Beam. He works to the low side, glues himself to the back bumper of the 1 of Dave Burnell down the front straight. Bickerstaff and the Dickey Electric 24 here with his hands full. The outside of this racing service has opened up a window for Burnell, and now Beam is trying to do the same to Burnell on the back straight, race fans. Here comes Beam to the low side of Dave Burnell. They go fender to fender, window net to window net, wheel well to wheel well, fingernail to fingernail out of turn 4. And Sean Beam continues to work down low line on Dave Burnell. Burnell with the Chevy up high, the Monte Carlo, as Beam continues with that Ford Torino down to the low side. Beam comes up with a point position down the back straightaway. Sean Beam, who spent most of last season in the first half of the season, I should say, going backwards more than forward, really got it together in the latter half of the 1991 season, has picked right up with it here early in 92 at Motordrome. Into turns 1 and 2, Burnell, after getting past, has dropped off the pace that Beam is setting out there, and now Jim Bickerstaff Jr. begins to close up on Burnell. Into 1 and 2, dirt tracking the automobile is Bickerstaff, as he can't get that car to handle quite right. Sean Beam, who won the opening day feature for this division last Sunday at Motordrome, continues to pace this field by 4.5 car lengths over the 1 of Dave Burnell. The white flag's out, 1 lap remaining. Into turns 1 and 2, the Baron Trucking Ford Torino 28 of Somerset, Pennsylvania. Sean Beam continues its paces very handily in this first qualifying event. Oh, smoke lights up out in turn 1, up from under the 75 of James Friedline. And what are we going to do here? Yellow comes out. We don't get the checker, though. So there'll be one more opportunity for challenge. And with our competitor's safety here at Motordrome, the green comes out. We're up to speed and racing. Let's see what happens. Into turns 1 and 2. Sean Beam takes it over by 4 car lengths, just as he had before the yellow came out, over the 1 of Dave Burnell. Jimmy Bickerstaff fishtailing that automobile, cannot close in on Burnell. The white flag, 1 lap remaining. Harry Flowers is all by himself in 4th. Courtney Block, a rookie driver from Wheeling, West Virginia, in the Primer 23, remains in 5th place position. Judy Shawless out there holds on to 6th. And George Nicolas says, holy smokes, I'm going to get beat by a woman if I don't pass her before this checker comes out. And it comes out, and it'll go to Sean Beam, followed a distant 2nd to Burnell. 3rd goes to Bickerstaff, 4th to Flowers, and 5th to Block. Mike, Diamond, I'll try this again. Dave Dragovich. Inside, 2nd row, Tim Stump in the 65 Chevelle, numbered 65 because of that. Outside of him is the 18 of Chris Kokenauer out of Somerset. Both those drivers. I'm on my breath. Green comes out, and we're up to speed and race, and Dragovich gets on it in the bank, printing 78. So does Kim Hagley, and it's a good clean start. Into turns 1 and 2, we're trying to make a 3-1. Stump from the middle, down to the low side, almost into the grass. Way up high goes Dragovich. We're a 3-1. Larry Lee Heminger shot out of a cannon down the back, straight up to 4th place position. Sets his sights on Stump. We've got a snake train of kaleidoscopic colors at 3 and 4. Look at Stump get out of control. And at 65 Chevrolet brings it back online. And Dragovich has gone to the back of the pack in the first lap. Kim Paglia hanging on to the lead, still on the outside of this racing service. She's out there doing the best on the outer groove, but it is taken over by Butch Durkis. Here comes Larry Lee Heminger. And the North Star Equipment 76 moves into third place position, past Stump into 65. Way up high goes Robin Rimmel. Watch this out of turn 4. Rimmel trying to hang on to it, and he does the job. And stays off the outside retaining wall, and it looks like we've dropped the valve in the 18 of Kokenar's car. Oh, it's cleared up perhaps. It's hard to say. But usually puffing smoke out of that exhaust like that spells a crunched valve one way or the other. And as we talk about that, in Kokenar's machine, I see some smoke beginning to pour out of the 87 of Durkis, and they're black flagging the leader. Butch Durkis is being black flagged because of the problems with the smoke as well as Kokenar's machine. So all of a sudden, the lead battle is up to Kim Paglia again. We've never had a female win an event of any kind here at Motordrome. Larry Lee Heminger goes the outside. Kim throws the block. How about that, ladies? Kim's still out there. Look at this one. Now she's up high. Here comes Heminger to the low side. Oh, Kim, you're running out of time. Here we go, down into turns 1 and 2. Larry Lee Heminger works to the low side. Kim Paglia goes way up high, wide, and oh, not so handsome this time. And through makes Rick Sheeler in a 74 and Tim Stump in a 65. And unfortunately, Kim may be too close to the wall, says, whew, I'm going to cool the pace a little bit, or perhaps mechanical problems incurred in the 00. It continues to be Larry Lee Heminger in the S&S Autobodies North Star Equipment 76 with a point position. Rick Sheeler out there running in second in a Marcy's Hair Salon 74. Kenny closed the gap. They go into turns 3 and 4. Dave Dragovich in the Bakes Printing 78 all by himself in the back. Can see them all. 2 laps to go for your lead automobile, Heminger. He works into turns 1 and 2. And yes, Rick Sheeler is closing the gap, but he may be running out of time as they tire squelch their way out of turn 2 down the back straight. Hemminger's really built so many of these automobiles for this division. In fact, the one behind him was built at the Heminger shops. They affectionately call him the Banjo Matthews of Somerset, Pennsylvania. The white flag out, 1 lap remaining for Heminger. He continues this smooth pace. All by himself is Stump in the 65 Chevelle, the yellow automobile, running in third, and Robin Rimmel a distant fourth. Here we go, out of turn 4. The checker will be unfolded for Larry Lee Heminger. Second will go to Rick Sheeler. A distant third to Tim Stump. And rounding out the top 4 positions will be Robin Rimmel in the 22. A distant fifth to the Bakes Printing 78 of racing columnist Diamond Dave Dragovich. I'd mentioned towards the front. Continuing with the next row, the 76 Club Valvoline sponsor machine for the very capable pilot, Dave Wade out of Pittsburgh. Outside of him, John Sandquist from Austintown, Ohio. Good to see him back in regular comp. Tom Erickson, the 03. Is Lonnie Vaughn and Rapid Rich Duke in a 4. Here we go out of turn 4 for 35 laps. The green comes out. We are up to speed and racing. Into turns 1 and 2, Barriotti takes off with the lead. Tightly following him is the 23 of Danny White, and the 65 of Tim Ice moves into the 3rd spot. Through turns 3 and 4, up in the middle groove, is the 75 of Audis. He continues to hold the point position. Oh, Danny White gets crossed up. He slides up and loses 3 positions in a quarter of a lap. Craigan, the man to get under him to take over 4th. It's Tim Ice now up to the bridesmaid spot. He brings Bobby Henry with him. Here comes Craigan. Into turns 1 and 2. Ice wastes no time going to the low side of the Stoystown Auto Record 75 of Jenners, Pennsylvania's Barriotti. Tim Ice desperately trying to work the low line down under that yellow line. Ice with a hull chassis, Camaro-bodied automobile. The fast racing engine 65 trying to get under Audi. Audi closes the door. Here comes a 77. Bobby Henry begins to close in. Charging Charlie Craigan on the move. The 4 automobiles hooked up in a battle for the lead. Audi, not to be intimidated, holds the middle groove as Ice continues to knock on the low side. Tim Ice working that low line, gets under Audi's automobile. Barry Audi right there, closes the door on Tim Ice and denies him the opportunity down the back straight. Now ice on the low side gives an opportunity for the Hodge transmission. 77 of Bobby Henry to work outside and cannot do it. Charlie Cragen now dives on the low side and a charging one. Challenges for the third place position on Bobby Henry. We work on lap 5 down the back straight. Barry Audi holds on to the point position. Ice is in second, but charging Charlie Cragen takes over third. Here comes Rick Miller through the pack. Miller now getting by Danny White up to 5th place position. Tim Ice tries the low side on Barry Audi once again out of turn 2. Pressure on the young driver from Jenners, Pennsylvania. Barry Audi, a tough driver, up to the task, but look out, he loops the car. No, he stays on it. Gets passed up, and Ice comes up with the lead. Well, Barry Audi could not afford to make one mistake, and that's what happened out of turn 4. He falls from 1st to 4th place position in just a straightaway length. Tim Ice picks up the point position, charging Charlie Cragen right behind him, running in 2nd place, followed by the 77 of Bobby Henry. Barry Audi now hangs on to 4th, and Rick Miller moves up to this 5th place position. Glenn Gold in the middle of the field. We'll be watching him. Chuck Kennedy moving up through this field. Kennedy with a fine ride, gets under Chuck Kessler's automobile, and he closes on the back bumper, Danny White. Tim Ice's car begins to slow up through the middle of the turns as Cragen closes up on his back bumper. The front 2 automobiles separating themselves from Bobby Henry. Here comes Rick Miller working the low side in this 4th place battle with the 75 of Barry Audi. Rick Miller squarely in turns 1 and 2, but the A1 Engineering chassis machine hangs on to the low side on Barry Audi, and Miller desperately tries to make it up to the 4th place position through turns 3 and 4. Cragen, meanwhile, looms large in the rearview mirror. Tim Ice is 65, not making the move, but really has pressured that back bumper. Perhaps Cragen's trying some intimidation moves on the Iceman, but Tim Ice doesn't get that nickname for nothing. A cool, calculated competitor out there on the point position continues to hold on to the lead spot as the 19 of Rick Miller has gone into 4th. Now charging Charlie Cragen in the rocket ship, hooked up on the outside of this racing surface, tries to make a bid. Meanwhile, Rick Miller starts on the move again. He challenges the low side of Bobby Henry for 3rd place. Here comes Rick Miller. Down the front straightaway into turns 1 and 2. Henry trying to close the door on Miller. He can't keep on the low side. Miller goes through, and Rick Miller in a Jim Dolan Chevrolet Camaro Body 19 struggling for that 3rd place position. Henry hanging tough on the outside. The Hodge transmission 77 down the front straightaway, and Miller takes over 3rd. Sets his sights on the 2 lead automobiles. Tim Ice continues on this point position on lap 14. With the lead spot, the 42 of charging Charlie Cragen, not able to make the move around him, and Rick Miller continues up through the field. Charging Charlie Cragen, trying high, trying low. Tim Ice is one who has had plenty of talent pressure him in his many years of racing on the pavement, and he's up to the task of holding off Cragen at this point in the event. Cragen sits back with plenty of time in the event, and Ice will try to conserve his tires in many ways as possible. Meanwhile, Rick Miller, Ice bobbles with the car in the back straight, and it allows Cragen to close up. Here comes Rick Miller. With Ice's bobble, both he and Cragen had to slow up the pace on the back straight, and Rick Miller now finds the black A1 Engineering chassis. Precision Chassis Centers, Jim Dolan Chevrolet Camaro Body 19 on the move. Charging Charlie Cragen continues to pressure that back bumper of the fast racing engine 65 of Ice. Ice dirt tracks the car out of 4, and Cragen's right there to try to take advantage of any miscue. They come up on the lapped automobile of Lonnie Vaughn. Vaughn right there in the 0-3 directly in front of your lead automobile, Ice, as we work on lap 18. Here comes Ice to the low side. Charging Charlie Cragen makes it through cleanly, and now Rick Miller trying to do the same. And now Cragen tries the outside on Ice. Down the back straightaway, Ice closes the door on Cragen, race fans. It's a torrid battle that allows Rick Miller to close in. Tim Ice's car's all over the racetrack. And now Cragen cannot take advantage. Here comes Rick Miller. Miller trying to low side on Cragen. Cragen with the dubious task of trying to get around Ice and hold off Rick Miller. If Cragen goes high, Miller may try to box him out on the outside. Ice doesn't know what to do, and he hangs in the middle. Does a beautiful job of holding off Cragen. Down in the turrets 1 and 2. Cragen trying the outside. Tim Ice's car has been loose all race long, but he's doing a masterful job of holding on to an ill-handling automobile and holding off the charging one. Here we go. Now Rick Miller on the low side. Rick Miller tries the low side on charging Charlie Cragen. Cragen closes the door. Here comes Miller again. Down the back straight. It's a 3-car battle for the lead, race fans. Here comes Cragen on ice. Miller tries the low side. We've got a horse race out of turn 4. Cragen now works the outside, and it's a drag race down the front straightaway. And charging Charlie Cragen takes over the lead. Cragen now takes over the lead from Tim Ice. Rick Miller sets up to go around the outside of Ice's machine. The ill-handling fast racing engine 65 car, loose in the turns, has allowed Cragen to get by on the high side. Cragen making that move just in time as Rick Miller is the man marching up through this field. Now Miller's contending in this battle for second place position, trying to make the move on ice, and Cragen, meanwhile, in this rocket ship machine, starts to take off with the lead. Rich Duker into the pits. Duker brings his automobile into the pits. Problems with it. Glenn Gould moving up through the field. Gould has gotten by Barry Audi 75 as he continues to run into 6th place position. Look at this battle out of 4, and Rick Miller comes up with 2nd. Rick Miller marching on his move to the 2nd place position on lap 26. Only 9 laps remaining. Does he have the time to catch up to Cragen? Out of turn 4, Rick Miller desperately would like to buy a few more laps here as he tries to close in on the Casa Fire Equipment Twin County Chevrolet 42 machine. On the back straightaway, your top 5 automobiles are Cragen, Miller, Ice, Henry, and Chuck Kennedy from the back of the pack. Kennedy with an impressive ride in a Chuck Beam on 24 machine down the front straightaway in the 5th place position. Glenn Gould holds on to 6th. Is Rick Miller closing the gap in time on lap 28? He is definitely closing the gap on Cragen, but will he have enough time? The Elwood Richter Carpet Henshaw & Sons Automotive 19 is reeling in the back bumper of Cragen. Now Miller really driving it hard in turn 1 in that last lap. Faded up in the middle of the turns. Rick Miller has to drive with every inch of talent to close in on the back bumper of Cragen with just these few laps remaining. 5 laps, and it's Rick Miller trying to close in on Cragen. Charging Charlie Cragen, trying to make it 2 in a row in the first 2 races. Look at this, a lapped automobile. Cragen goes high, and Miller uses it to his advantage and closes in on Cragen. Now there's 4 laps remaining. In the turns 1 and 2, Miller begins that move. He is 4 car lengths away from Cragen. A great battle shaping up for the 3rd spot. Tim Ice is holding off Bobby Henry and Chuck Kennedy. Rick Miller, meanwhile, continues to try to close in on Cragen. The charging one can see him in his rear view mirror as they work into turns 1 and 2. Lap 32, it looks like Cragen has been able to hold the gap now over Rick Miller as the battle for 3rd continues. Down the front straightaway, 2 laps remaining for Cragen. The Dream-powered racer is just running like a precision timepiece out there, holding the distance over Rick Miller. Tim Ice is contending with the Hodge transmission 77 of Bobby Henry for the 3rd place spot, and here comes Chuck Kennedy. Kennedy in a Howell chassis machine on the move as the white flag comes out for Charlie Cragen. Down the front straightaway into turns 1 and 2, and look at Kennedy, the former dirt track driver, really on the move. This time around, our attention turns to turn 4, and the finish will see charging Charlie Cragen pick up the win again. He's followed by Rick Miller. Here comes the battle for 3rd, and it'll be Tim Ice hanging on to it over Bobby Henry. 5th will go to the 24 of Chuck Kennedy. Glenn Gould, 6th, 7th goes to Barry Audi, and 8th to John Sandquist. Fire Equipment, Twin County Chevrolet dealers, Cooney Cole, all part of that effort. Doc Scanlon down there in Victory Lane to congratulate Charlie. And when he gets all the safety gear off, the helmet, takes the steering wheel off, and as soon as he gets out of that driver's compartment, we'll give him a big Motordrome welcome the 2nd time in 2 weeks. And the first NASCAR Winston Racing Series point event in Western Pennsylvania, it goes to the charging one out of Hopewell. I can hear you now, charging Charlie Cragen. We'll turn things down to Joe Rolick as soon as we're done with Victory Lane's celebrations. Charlie Cragen last year with 42 starts and 4 wins in the NASCAR Winston Racing Series, was second in points at Jennerstown and 4th here in the Gatling's late model points in last season. The 4 wins all came at Jennerstown last year. He had 3 second place finishes at Motordrome last season, but no wins, but he's got 2 already this season. Precious Metals, Valley Beverage, The Long Barn, Shop and Save, Frank's Used Cars, Sickens Finish, and Willie Cameron, all part of his efforts. And now down to Joe Rolick in Victory Lane with Sergeant Charlie Cragen.
Charlie. 2 in a row, that's a pretty impressive start so far.
Yeah, that feels pretty good. I can't say enough about how the Biter brothers and our whole crew, they got that car set up right. And I want to thank the sponsors too. They got me a good machine to drive here, and I really appreciate it.
Who are some of your sponsors?
Twin Doc Scallons and Rogers, the main sponsors, and then Twin County Chevrolet and Cooney Brothers Coal Company, and I'm afraid I'll forget somebody, but there's several on it.
It's not a Ford, right? The way Ford's been dominating Winston Cup, you guys are trying to do the same here.
Oh yeah, we always try to win. It's no Ford.
You really gave Tim Ice a battle there in the middle of the race. Did you know you had enough to get around him, or were you saving the tires?
No, I wasn't sure. I was trying the whole time, but I saw somebody pull up inside of me, and I figured if I'm going to do something, better do it now.
Okay. Right. Thank you, Charlie Cragen.
Cragen will notch in with 100. We'll be going 25 laps in this event. Pepsi Pro Stocks. Again, these cars now, the Bendix Olds pace car pulls off just in the nick of time. Here we go out of turn 4. The green comes out. We are up to speed in racing. Into turns 1 and 2, Bradley Cole takes off with the point position, followed by Kelly Shawless in the Oldsmobile body, Dylan Chassis 77. Watch the middle of the pack there as Jeff Dummer in the VJ's Express 07, Bob Kossel, Jamie Bourbon in the 33 and the 26, a Rapid Robert Archibald. Oh, Gib Pat up there. The Tiger Pup 70 of Gib. Oh, look out in turns 1 and 2. Last season, and it's up to him to bring the cars around for this restart. 1 lap in the book. Here we go. Green comes out. We're up to speed in racing. Bradley Cole wastes no time going out to the point position, and we find Arsenberger Trucking 26 of Rapid Robert Arsenberger settling in to the second place position. Out of turn 4, Kelly Schultz holds on to third, and here comes the 07 of Jeff Dunbar. Dunbar trying to work the low side on Schultz. They work tight turns 1 and 2. The VJ's Express 07 trying to make the move under Schultz. Down the back straightaway, and Dunbar finds himself running in the third place position. Jeff Dumar, your winner last week, wasting no time, moving up to third, sets his sights on the Ford Thunderbird body 26 of Bob Arsenberger. Arsenberger again looks like he has that right front fender rubbing against the Goodyear Racing Slick. Every time he loads up that front chassis going into the turn, smoke pours off the right front tire of that automobile, and Jeff Dumar works the low side on him. Look how close those automobiles are together in turns 1 and 2. Bradley Cole with nowhere to go with the lap traffic. Oh my, race fans, and that's tightened up the battle for the lead. We have a spin in 1 and 2. A spin in 1 and 2 by Bergman once again. My goodness, Bradley Cole, oh, he sees the yellow. The restart, it's up to Cole. Let's see what happens. He gets on it, the green's out, and we are racing in a Pepsi Pro Stock 25 lap feature event. Look at Jeff Dunbar trying to make an early bid for second on the restart. Cannot make the move as Rapid Robert Arsenberger denies him the opportunity. Gib Pat with an impressive run in a 70. His second time ever racing an automobile on an asphalt oval, and he's running in fourth. Meanwhile, Dunbar continues to work the outside. Now he dive bombs low on Arsenberger. Arsenberger denies him the opportunity as that battle for second continues. Oh, Pat way up high, and he causes a chain reaction and almost sends Kossel into the wall. Rookie inexperience on Gib Pat's part almost sees him lose control of that red 70 as Bob Kossel will have his work cut out for him trying to get by that car safely at this point in the event. Gib Pat a very fast automobile, but with inexperience. So keep your eyes on that battle for fourth in turn 3. Kossel looks to the low side, can't make the move. Here comes Bergman up, and now Dunbar makes that move to the low side, and Dunbar moves up to the second place position, sets his sights on Kossel. Look at this, trying to get around Albright's machine again in the battle for second out of 2. Oh, look at this. My goodness, a turn 3. Bergman is trying to go under the 50. Bob Sprout Kossel as they battle behind the 70. Gib Pat holding on to the fourth place position. Your lead automobiles, Bradley Cole by some 6 car lengths over Jeff Dunbar. Into turns 3 and 4. Bob Arsenberger still trying to hang on to Dunbar. After he's been passed, he's not letting Dunbar running away with it. Oh my, Bergman spins again. In 3 and 4. The yellow comes out again. Lights out, we're ready for the restart. Will Jeff Dunbar be able to make it 2 in a row? 2 Somerset drivers, Cole and Dunbar, 1 and 2. Now look at this, out of 4. Here comes Arsenberger to 26. Arsenberger trying a quick move on the restart. There's Bob Sprout Kossel right in there too. Dunbar denies Arsenberger the opportunity. Now look at Gib Pat. Gib Pat in a 70, not to be denied, goes under Kossel's car. They get together, look out. Oh, minor contact in 3, and it brings out the yellow. Count out Bob Arsenberger. Greg Vasco up to 4th, and Bergman hanging in there in 5th. Here we go. Cole jumps on it. Here comes Arsenberger to the outside of Dunbar. The green comes out. We're up to speed and racing. In the turns 1 and 2, Bradley Cole stretches out the point position over Jeff Dunbar. Here comes this battle for second again. Jamie Bergman gets by the 11. Of Greg Vasco finds himself running 4th, sets his sights on the 26 of Bob Arsenberger. Down the back straightaway now. It looks like Jeff Dunbar begins to pour on the Coles as he's closing the gap on Bradley Cole in the 68. Oh, Dunbar gets squirrely, settles off the pace for a second and recollects the automobile. That car just shimmied in between turns 3 and 4, and he had to pick it back up. Did a beautiful job without losing control. Mill Run, Pennsylvania's Rapid Robert Arsenberger has not been able to take advantage of it. Oh, here's the 60 Albright, the lap traffic again. Wisely tucking to the low side. Cole gets by unscathed this time as he works into turns 1 and 2. Meanwhile, Dunbar begins to pick up the pace on him. Jamie Bergman is now oh my goodness. It looks like Gibbs Pat's car, maybe they have problems in an automobile with the tire rubbing on the fender. I heard that coming by the front straight. We'll keep a listen to that again as he comes down the front straight into 70. And yes, there is rubber flying off that inside left front tire of Gib Pat's car from the fender punched in on it. Meanwhile, this battle continues in turns 1 and 2 for the lead. Jeff Dunbar has begun to close up on Bradley Cole, 2 young drivers in this division that have all the talent in the world at their fingertips as Dunbar begins to close up on Cole's automobile. Plenty of time in this event, only 13 laps down out of the 25 we're going. And Jeff Dunbar continues to reel in Bradley Cole's Somerset Drug Resources Conservation Corporation 68. Jeff Dunbar, the 29-year-old welder from Somerset, Pennsylvania, has set his sights to the back bumper of Bradley Cole's automobile. He has gotten within 3 car lengths, but he cannot close it anymore at this point in the event. 15 laps down, 10 remaining for the Pepsi Pro Stocks. Jeff Dunbar will really have to seriously consider trying to close up to that back bumper as he sets a strategy up on Cole. Meanwhile, Bradley Cole, not to be intimidated, is hanging out that automobile for everything it's worth. Bradley Cole works into turns 3 and 4. Dunbar right there. Albright brings the 60 into the pits. And now Jeff Dunbar is in striking distance. A car length and a half off the pace set by Cole. Jeff Dunbar now by just a car length behind Bradley Cole's automobile in a battle for the lead. They're coming up on lap traffic. Ted Corbett, 72 on the low side, and the 11 of Greg Vasco directly in front of the leaders as they work out of turn 2. Here comes Dunbar. He strikes to the low side of Bradley Cole, but the lapped automobile, what's going to happen in 3, race fans? And Cole, using the lapped automobile of Vasco to his advantage, holds off Dunbar this time around. Into turns 1 and 2. Bradley Cole with his hands full. Dunbar looks like that car will work on any side of this racing surface. Time is running out. Working on lap 19 as Dunbar begins the challenge once again on the high-flying Bradley Cole out of turn 4. They work into turns 1 and 2. Cole, oh, we've got problems on the front straight, and it looks like Greg Vasco has dropped a valve in that car. The yellow comes out. That looks to be the 3rd or 4th drop valve we've had this afternoon. Sneak by both of them. Let's see what Cole does with it. Somerset Drug, WVSC 68. Pace is slow. Here we go. It's up to him. Look at Dunbar. Now Bradley Cole jumps on it. Here comes Arzenberger. Green comes out. 5 laps to go, and we're racing. Bradley Cole uses a restart to his advantage. Gets 2 car lengths ahead of Jeff Dunbar. Dunbar squirrely through the oil dry. Oh, we've got a spin. My goodness, the oil dry, and Give Pat a 70 getting into it, does a spin, and we got an oil fire in the 33 of Bergman. I'm sure that's an oil line broke on that car. Officials over there quickly to put out the fire. Here this time, and Dunbar's able to hang on to him. Let's see what happens in the next couple laps. Into turns 1 and 2, 5 laps remaining. Dunbar trying to tuck in behind Cole. Cole stretches out by car length and a half down the back straightaway. Here comes Give Pat to the low side of Bob Kossel. Unbelievable move by the rookie on Kossel, and they almost get together for a second time in this event. Down the front straightaway continues to be Bradley Cole. He holds it over Jeff Dunbar. Both of those lead cars are working down under the yellow line. Bob Arzenberger is now drifting off to a distant 3rd place position. Jeff Dunbar begins to reel in Cole ever so slightly, but time is running out for the VJ's Express 07 as Bradley Cole continues setting the pace. Working into turns 1 and 2, and Cole's car's really hooked up on the low side of the track. Oh, he drifts up high, and here comes the 07 of Jeff Dunbar. Dunbar making a bid for the lead spot in the waning laps of this Pepsi Pro Stock 25-lap event. Down the front straightaway, 2 laps remaining for Dunbar. Bradley Cole hangs on to it down to the low side. Dunbar up high. Now Cole slides up high. Here comes Dunbar. Cole denies him the opportunity. Watch these 2 young, outstanding stars of the Pepsi Pro Stocks as they battle it out. This time the white flag. 1 lap remaining for Bradley Cole. He dives into turns 1 and 2, way down low. Dunbar way up high. Cole fades up. Dunbar tries a bid for the low line. Cannot do it on the back straight. Less than a half a lap remaining. Bradley Cole right there with the point position. Jeff Dunbar dives down low. Cole goes up high. Do we have a drag race to the finish? Who's it going to be? Oh, you pick it, race fans. You pick it. Holy smokes. How many people think Bradley Cole won it? Who thinks Dunbar snuck by? I'm guessing. I'm going to take a guess it was Cole by a couple inches. We'll see what the official... The driver, Jeff Dunbar. There he is. He can hear you now. Nice round of applause again for Bradley Cole. Be congratulated by General Manager of Motordrome, Chip Rowan. Pepsi's Pro Stocks. Outstanding drive for Cole as he notches his first win of the 92 season. Starter Ron Brutt in victory lane, draping the checker as a backdrop for Bradley as we capture the moment on film. Don't forget all this exciting action on LJ's Video each and every week at Motordrome Speedway. Check out their display at the tower and the main grandstand area. Remember, nationally known but locally owned LJ's Video. We'll be going down to Joe Rolick momentarily for the interview with Bradley Cole and get his impressions of that very close finish. Bob Arsenberger is third. Fourth goes to Bob Kossel, and fifth to the rookie, Gib Patz. So Bob Kossel coming up through the field to hang on to fourth. And Gib.
We have Jeff Lee down here from Pepsi, too. That was who was in the victory lane photo. Brad Cole. Brad, you really, last year is your rookie season. You really had a strong season. See, you got a little excited out there. That's the most excitement I've seen out of you. You raised your hand a couple times after that race. How do you stay so calm?
I don't know. It was tough. Jeff's going to be tough all year. I got to thank all my crewmen, all my sponsors. They did an outstanding job. Nothing else I have to say.
I see you have a new sponsor there on the car in Pizza Hut.
Yes, and they contributed a little bit, and it takes all you can get to run in this class.
Well, Mike, with these two guys running, Jeff Dunmeyer and Bradley Cole, probably some of the best young drivers in the area here. They should keep the fans entertained all year.
Here at Motordrome. Of course, Larry Saylor will be driving that car at Jennerstown this season. Outside of him is Cindy Mignon on the point. The Bendix Holes, Cutlass Supreme heads to the pits. It's up to Mignon and Angelico. The green comes out. We're up to speed in racing. Here we go. We're trying to make it 3 wide. We're trying to make it 4 wide. In the turns 1 and 2, Ken McDonough with a quick move. Denny Barron smokes. Oh my goodness, going through the track temperature. Look out. And Alan Angelico gets pinched from the front row all the way back through the field. Unbelievable, race fans. The lead position being held by Jason Mignon. The 95 of Ken McDonough right there. Black flag comes out. Oh my goodness, look at this in the front straight. Danny Barron trying to slow down for the black flag, and Dietrich almost gets into him as we have a battle for the lead. Up high goes Mignon, and here comes Ken McDonough down the low side with the lead. Mike Heminger pulls into the second spot. Rick Chuck, meanwhile, battles it out for 4th place position with the 33 of John Komarinsky as we work early in the Stoney's Light 20-lap event for the street stocks. Down the front straightaway, it's the MCR Racing 95 machine of Collar Townships. Ken McDonough holds it by just a scant car length over the North Star Equipment Holders Auto Repair 72 of Mike Heminger. Now they're coming up on a lap traffic of an unusually slow running Brian Audis. He heads to the pits. Problems with that automobile. Here comes Heminger now. He dives to the low side of McDonough. They get very close together but continue racing tooth and nail out there for the point position. A great battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th between Jason Mignon, Komarinsky in the 33 and a 74 Rick Chuck. And those 3 automobiles are slowly closing up on your lead 2 machines. The 95 of McDonough and the 72 of Heminger. Here comes Rick Chuck. He's been trying lap after lap to get onto the low side of the Rolling Rock 33 of Komarinsky. Komarinsky continues denying Jock the opening to the low side of the racing surface. Our lead automobiles in turn 2 go around the 10 of Schneider, putting the rookie 1 lap down in this event as we work on lap 6. Oh, a little bit of door knocking out there. Mike Heminger says, hello, how do you do, to the lead automobile, McDonough. Meanwhile, Jason Mignon has his hands full. Komarinsky's trying to get around the 66 machine because he knows he has the pressure of Rick Jock behind him. Ken McDonough will be fast closing on 2 lapped automobiles out there. The 88 of Dietrich and the 97 of J.O. Hay Jr. who gets the black flag for smoking. That automobile, the disqualification, the yellow comes out. The yellow flag's out for a spin in the middle of the back straight. And simultaneously, J.O. Hay Jr. really has some things to let go under the hood. Jason Mignon with his hands full, 2 strong pilots behind him. The green comes out, we're up to speed. Here we go. Mike Heminger tries an immediate low side move on McDonough. McDonough slams the door on him as they go into turns 1 and 2. Komarinsky and Jock getting together out there. We continue green flag racing. Here comes the 25 of Ron Coral out of nowhere to come up and challenge for a top 5 position. Mignon dirt tracks his automobile He cannot put the pressure on the lead pack. Mike Heminger all over the racing. Oh, look at this! Rick Jock trying everything to get under Komarinsky, and John Komarinsky says, "You'll have no dealings of it." Into turns 3 and 4, a great battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and now here comes Marty Edwards. Edwards in the 57 begins to close up to the back bumper of the Valley Truck and Service 25 of Ron Coral. So we've got battles going on all over the racing surface in the Stoney's Light Street Stock division. Ken McDonough continues a point position, as he has since the drop of the green, with Mike Heminger, the graduated pure stock driver, desperately trying to make a move around him. Rick Jock once again sets up to the low side of John Komarinsky in turns 1 and 2. Watch this battle for 4th. Here comes Jock and the B&T Trucking, Vaughn United Beverage, Busch Beer Machine, still working the low side. The battle of the beers out there, race fans. A Rolling Rock 33 of Komarinsky trying to hang on to the outside of the Busch Beer 74 of Jock. They work into turns 1 and 2, and Rick Jock comes up with a 4th place position. Will set his sights to the lead automobiles. We work on lap 11, plenty of time left in his Stoney's Light Street Stock 20 lap affair. Lapped automobile Schneider directly in front of the leaders on the main front straight. As Schneider wisely goes to the low side and allows both McDonough and Heminger to get through. Mike Hemminger's trying everything to pressure McDonough. Looks like he may have the tires go away a little bit on that automobile. Has settled back within a car length of striking distance on Ken McDonough's 95. Jason Mignon, meanwhile, continues to ride all by himself in 3rd place position. Finds a fast closing Rick Jock coming up on his racing machine. Jock is a man on the move, maybe the fastest car in the racing service right now. He won his heat race, holding off the efforts of John Komarinsky earlier this afternoon. And now he's gotten by Komarinsky for 4th and pressures the Mr. Stubbs 66 of Mignon, who's way out of shape out of 4. Rick Jock looking for racing room in turns 1 and 2 in a battle for a 3rd. He dives to the low side with that Monte Carlo machine in an effort. Now we got a battle for the lead in 3 and 4, and the sun's out. Out of turn 4, Rick Jock still trying to work the low side of Mignon's machine. Down the front straightaway. It's a drag race into turns 1 and 2. Rick Jock very close to the dirt, and the inside of the turn makes this move and finds himself running 3rd. Let's get a time on that. Rick Jock would love to see a yellow, and our 2 leaders would like it to go all the way green as the laps are winding down in this event. 5 remaining, and I don't think Jock can close the interval in his Stoney's Light Street Stock 20 lap affair down the back straight. McDonough has to contend with the fast closing Mike Heminger. Heminger knocking on the door once again, cannot find racing room. Mike Heminger has been close enough to the 95 to be able to look in the rearview mirror of McDonough's automobile and comb his hair. He's been that close all race long. Way up high is Dietrich in the 88, the lapped automobile, letting the 2 lead machines drag race each other into turn 3. Watch this, race fans. Oh, Mike Heminger says, I could have. Oh, look at this, using lap traffic. Can you believe that one? He still can't make the. Oh, my goodness. Oh, the Stoney's Light Street Stocks. Heart Attackville in 3 and 4. Oh, Komarinsky loses a wheel. Look out. Watch out for that wheel. Hopefully no one will hit it, and it'll come to rest. Yep. Let's see if it heads to the pits. This one has eyes on it. I want to get in, but the inside retaining wall. Yeah, the tire tried to do what John did last year with the car when he got upside down over the inside retaining wall into the pits. But the real concern when you lose a wheel is if another car hits it and sends it. In 92, he spent most of the time the sheet metal peeled off the frame. As we get ready for the restart, here it is. The drama unfolds in the final 3 laps of the Stoney's Light Street Stocks. Let's see what happens. And it turns 1 and 2. McDonough holds the middle groove. Heminger dives down low. Rick Jock looking for racing room. Up to speed down the back straight. McDonough and that Monte Carlo holds on to it. There are actually 3 Monte Carlos battling for the top 3 spots. Rick Jock now begins to close the gap on Heminger's automobile. 2 laps to go from your starter, Ron Brunt. Heminger dives on the low side. McDonough again. McDonough slams the door in the Mid-City Racing 95 machine. Rick Jock looking for racing room, not able to make a challenge. One of the strong running street stocks in the past 3 years on the pavement. Jock in 3rd position with nowhere to go. The white flag comes out, 1 lap remaining for McDonough. Ken McDonough looking for a career first on the pavement for the former street stock driver on the dirt here at Motordrome. in his sophomore season. There's a lap car in front of the leaders. What's going to happen here? Coming down for the checker. It plays into McDonough's hand, and he'll find himself with the checker, followed by Mike Heminger, Rick Jock, a distant fourth to Mignon, and fifth to Ron Coral. Even for Ken McDonough. The Stoney's Light Street Stocks. Ken holding off the challenges of Mike Heminger, who finished second. Rick Jock all the way up to third, starting deep in the pack. The 66 of Jason Mignon holding on to fourth. And Ron Coral out of State College and a Valley Truck and Service 25 rounds out the top five.
Your first victory, how does it feel?
Good.
Give me a little bit more of that. Describe the feeling. I know that Mike Heminger was on you the whole race there. You really drove smooth race. You used a lap car to your advantage here on the last lap. Tell us about it.
Well, I don't know. I'm out of wind right now.
Totally speechless, huh?
Feels good.
You know, this is my first night here. You're making it real easy on me, Ken.
Feels good to win. These boys worked real hard over all winter. They got the car working pretty good, and maybe we get a few more this year.
All right, congratulations, Ken.
Ken McDonough in victory lane in the Stoney's Light Street Stocks, and their 20 lap is from Somerset, Pennsylvania. 32 is George Nicola out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in his rookie season. Mark Griffiths is in the 71, and the 8. Diamond Dave on the outside. Keep your eyes on him. Let's see what happens. There goes the pace car. Here we go. Momentarily, the green comes out. We're up to speed and racing. Oh, look at Brunel trying a 3-wide split in turn 1 and 2. Dragovich way up high in the base, printing 78. But look at this. We're 3 wide with Dragovich down the back straight, trying to make it 4 wide. His beam into 28. Holy smokes, through turns 3 and 4, we got cars sideways and different crews and everything going on. Dave Dragovich from the point position all the way back through the field, still hanging on to it as Jimmy Bickerstaff stretches out the lead over Dave Brunel by some 4 car lengths, working on lap 2. Look at this pack rate for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Larry Lee Heminger in there, fighting it out with Courtney Block in front of him in the 76 and 23 respectively. Courtney Block, the rookie, has his hands full. Here comes Sean Beam. Heminger way up high on Block. Oh, smoke comes out of the 18 of Kokenar as he works into turns 1 and 2. We're trying to make it 3 wide. Sean the Bullet Beam looking for racing room in turn 3 as Larry Lee Heminger goes into the 3rd place position. Into 1 and 2, it continues to be Bickerstaff, but he's being pressured greatly now by the flying sign painter Dave Brunel. The black flag has come out for the 18 of Kokenar in turns 1 and 2, as that smoke pouring from his automobile will necessitate him retiring to the pits. Here comes Sean Beam. He looks to the low side of Heminger in a battle for 3rd place position. Beam in the Baron Trucking 28 tries the North Star equipment. 76 cannot make the move. Down the back straight, it continues to be Bickerstaff on the point position. Here comes Beam in that battle for 3rd. He dives down to the low side of Heminger and struggles to make it through for the 3rd place position out of turn 4. On the back straight, Dave Brunel is pressuring the back bumper of Jimmy Bickerstaff. Meanwhile, Beam's coming up. It's going to be a 3-car struggle for the points position. Working onto the front straight. Bickerstaff right in the middle groove. Now look, oh my goodness, Brunel slides up high. Here comes Beam, and Bickerstaff dirt tracks the car, smokes the right rear tire. He'll have to slow down to allow that tire to cool off. And Beam has used these miscues to his advantage. He now finds himself boxed in here in 2nd, but in a good, advantageous situation to challenge for the lead. And while that goes on, Heminger begins to close back up. We have 4 cars. You can throw a blanket over them in the battle for the lead. Bickerstaff continues on the point position. It's side by side, fender to fender, wheel well to wheel well with Beam and the flying sign painter Dave Burnell. Now Sean Beam gets by Burnell. He tries the low side of Bickerstaff out of turn 4. The bullet Beam trying to make the move to the low side. The drag race down the front straightaway. Burnell still fighting it out right there. Now Heminger works the low side. Way up high goes Bickerstaff. Oh my goodness, you call it, race fans. It's too confusing out there. Bullet Beam goes into the lead. Here comes Larry Lee Heminger. He makes the move up to second place position as Sean Beam takes over the point position. Jimmy Bickerstaff finds himself going backwards in this event. Oh my goodness, Jimmy Bickerstaff having problems, and he has slowed off the pace and heads to the pits. Bickerstaff has headed to the pits and drops off the pace on lap 9. Into turns 1 and 2, Sean Beam continues on the point position. Larry Lee Heminger desperately trying to close in on him. The flying sign painter out of Greensburg, Dave Burnell, and the High-Tech Hobbies Monte Carlo #1 machine still running in 3rd place position. The battle for 4th is shaped up. Rick Sheeler comes up to the low side of Harry Flyers. Number 3, they get together in 3 and 4. Oh, look out! Woo! Oh, hard into the wall goes Sheeler's automobile. A major miscue. Those 2 cars getting together. Flowers, dirt tracks, overcorrects and gets right into Sheeler. See what he does with it. Larry Lee Heminger trying to take advantage. The green comes out. We're up to speed in racing. Into turns 1 and 2. Here comes Dave Burnell in the battle for 2nd. Looks to the low side of North Star equipment of Heminger. Those cars touch. Butch Durkis, meanwhile, has the wick turned up. He closes up to the back bumper. The flying sign painter in the battle for 3rd. George Nicola, the rookie pilot out of Pittsburgh in a 32, makes his presence known. Running in 6th place position. Begins to close up on the back bumper. Courtney Blocks, number 23. Oh, the yellow comes out again. We've got a spin by the 71. Here we go. Out of turn 4. Mashes on the throttle, Beam does. We're up to speed in racing, and the bullet's on it. Here we go. The Baron Trucking 28 stretches out by 2 car lengths over Heminger. As the battle for 2nd again shapes up with Dave Burnell trying to close up to the back bumper and look to the inside of Heminger. Now he slides way up near the outside retaining wall, almost makes contact with it as he continues running in the 3rd place position. Butch Durkis, meanwhile, has that Oldsmobile trying to close into the low side in the battle for 3rd on Dave Burnell. Sean Beam continues, stretching it out by 7 car lengths over Heminger. Now Heminger begins to close up again. The battle's still a good one for 2nd place position. Heminger has his hands full as Durkis is joined in to make it 3 cars, and sandwiched in between those 2 automobiles is Dave Burnell. Here comes George Nicola, the rookie pilot, goes to the outside of another rookie, Courtney Block, in turns 3 and 4. Nicola trying to make a bid for the 5th place position down the front straight. In that Ford Thunderbird, looks to the outside of the Chevelle Block. They dig in turns 1 and 2. The white flag's out. 1 lap remaining for your lead automobile. Sean Beam, that battle's still a good one for the 2nd spot. Into turns 1 and 2. Everybody trying to find out where Beam has found a handle in this division. Beam going for his 2nd win in a row. Early in the 92 season. Meanwhile, the battle continues for 2nd. Here it is. Beam will pick up the checker in a Baron Trucking Ford Torino. Here's the battle for 2nd. Heminger goes up high. Here comes Dave Burnell down low. It's a drag race for the bridesmaid position. Heminger has it by a hood length over Dave Burnell. Oh, and Butch Durkis just in time to pick up the checker as something let goes in that automobile. Looks like a radiator might have gone on it. There's fluid spilled on the track, but he does finish 4th. And 5th goes the rookie, George Nicola, in the 32. He can hear you now, race fans. How about a nice round of applause for Sean the Bullet Beam? on the Bullet Beam in victory lane with Miss Motordrome Speedway Carrie Ritchie. 2 in a row at the Drome. Joe Rolick will be getting Sean's impression of the event very shortly.
Today, huh?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I hope we get some more.
Cars seem to really be the one to beat.
Well, there's a lot of cars out there. It's just we got the handling down pat. That's all it takes.
I also know that cars similar to yours, a guy probably stole your paint job, won today.
Yeah, we had to better him. Win 2.
Okay, Sean, thank you.
Sean Beam from Somerset, Pennsylvania, your feature winner in the Pure Stocks. A lot of memories out there for many of you race fans, older race fans. Here we go, out of turns 3 and 4. Bickerstaff on the point, the green comes out, and we're up to speed in racing. Oh, look at this, right down into turns 1 and 2. Wow, look at Kunkel. We're not on dirt there, bud. But Kunkel just gets the car sideways, perpendicular to the racing groove, and the yellow comes out. Everybody going into those turns hard. No, we stay green. No yellow. How about this Alex May car not being bashful about it? No bashful racing out here. May car up high in the L. Thomas Body Shop, 99. Holds on to the point position. Listen to the difference. There are no mufflers on most of these competitors compared to our cars that run in this division each and every week. And Jimmy Bickerstaff is hanging on to the back bumper, Alex Maycar. Maycar from Heidelberg, Pennsylvania, and this is probably the only time he's ever run ahead of Jimmy Bickerstaff on the pavement. Bickerstaff having his hands full trying to get around that Dick Thomas 99 Pure Stock machine. And the Mineral Ridge pilot looks to the low side of Maycar. Look at Bickerstaff on the low side. They're very close together in the front straightaway. Bob Stanford holds on to third. Maycar makes a mistake up high, and Bickerstaff gets through. Let's see if Maycar has the steam to get back by him again. 8 laps of distance we're going. Bud Kunkel is a capable pilot in this series, is well off the pace after that miscue. Bob Stanford, a good showing for him in the 3rd place position with that 69 Chevelle. It continues to be Jimmy Bickerstaff on the point position by some 4 car lengths over the 99 of Alex Maycar. Maycar cannot reel him in at this point. Bickerstaff began his racing career in World War II while in the Army racing motorcycles and became an outstanding dirt and then asphalt late model pilot. Continues to hold the lead in this event. He'll be coming up on Bud Kunkel's automobile. Listen to Bud's tires. He has a real bad push in that automobile right now. You can see when Kunkel's car comes out of the turn that he has the steering wheel, the column locked all the way over, and the front end of that car just wants to go right up to the wall. Watch right here out of turn 4, you front straight fans. You can see it dramatically, a textbook fashion of a push. See how he has the tires turned and the front end wants to come up the outside retaining wall, having handling problems on the Bud Kunkel number 8. The white flag out for Bickerstaff, 1 lap remaining. And Stanford, whose rear end in that automobile not settling well in the turns, is closing in on Maycar. Stanford's red number 98 Chevelle closes to the back bumper of Alex Maycar. Here comes the checker for Mineral Ridge, Ohio's Jimmy Bickerstaff. And the battle for second, who's it going to be? Maycar right there in the middle. Up high goes Stanford. Maycar holds him off. And a distant 4th will go to Don Luffy, the former PRA champion. Racing service in their careers. Bob Steiger on the point. Outside of him, Bob McWilliams. Let's see what happens. Started running. Brutt looks him over. We're going 8 laps. Bayshore right there outside. Second row of Paul Bush is 42. Green's out. We're up to speed in racing. Here we go down the front straight. Into turn 1, and Steiger pulls up with the lead. Holy smokes. Let's wear out some tread on those tires. Down the back straightaway. Here comes Pee Wee Flick to the low side of the 26 of Bayshore as they close up on Paul Bush's back bumper, the 42 machine running second. All by himself, Bob Steiger holds on to the point position. Oh, look at Bayshore with a radical low side move. He gets on the brakes. Oh, look at Paul Bush. Hang on to it, Paul. Hang on to it. He does, and we continue racing, but he loses 2 positions. Bush now running in 4th place position. Bayshar takes over the bridesmaid spot, brings Pee Wee Flick right with him. They work through turns 3 and 4 in this battle for the 2nd spot. All by himself, Bob Steiger with a point. Here comes Pee Wee Flick. Flick dives to the low side. On Bayshar, look at Bayshar's car, the front end nosedive into the pavement when he stands on those brakes. Out of turn 2, here comes Flick down the back straight, looking for a low side move to pick up the 2nd place position. Bayshar continues working at Chevelle on the outside. He can't hang on to the spot. And Flick moves through for 2nd place. 8 laps of distance we're going, and it becomes a question of whether Pee Wee Flick can close the gap on your lead automobile of Bob Steiger. We'll get an interval on it, see if he's closing it. Steiger working out of turn 4, and the time he has over Flick is 3.15 seconds at the cross flags. 4 laps down, 4 remaining. And just over 3-second distance, the advantage between Steiger and the 1 of Pee Wee Flick. And Flick is whittling that time down by about 0.3 of a second a lap. But he's just flat going to run out of real estate in time in an effort to close up on Steiger's machine. Unless Bob makes a miscue, he should be able to hang on for the checker. Paul Bush, meanwhile, cannot get back up and challenge Ed Bayshar for the 3rd place position. Oh, Bayshar really dirt tracking that car. This time around, 2 laps remain for your lead automobile. Bob Steiger, he has about 1/8 of a lap lead over Pee Wee Flick. And Eddie Bayshar continues to be determined to change the tires on that automobile in the feature. White flag, 1 lap remaining for your lead automobile. Bob Steiger takes it into turns 2, and the gap is being closed by Pee Wee Flick, but Flick's running out of time down the back straight. He's been able to close in and whittle that lead down by about 1 second, but it'll run out of time as the checker will be unfolded for Steiger. 2nd will go to a dirt tracking Pee Wee Flick and Dave Brunel's automobile. A distant 3rd goes to Eddie Bayshar as he exits out of turn 4, the former dirt track semi-late runner. And Paul Bush will pick up the 4th position. George Nicola, oh, Bush, looks like he drops a valve in the engine on that car. And if it had been the middle of summer, he'd have killed every mosquito within 10 miles of the front straightaway. In 1 year at Heidelberg Raceway, 1970, won the late model track championship, the Tri-State 150, and the Golf Pittsburgher 250, all in the same year. Triple Crown, they used to call it up there. I think he and only one other driver was able to do that, Tom Colella. Series event. The Olds heads into the pits from Bendix Olds, and here we go. The green comes out, and glories of dirt track and asphalt racing in the pits comes unleashed into turn 1. Oh, hang on to it, gentlemen. Oh my goodness, position changes, too numerous to move down the back straight. It's Eddie Bayshar in the point position, Bud Kunkel running 2nd. In 3rd is Pee Wee Flick. I almost said Dave Brunel as we get going this battle for the lead. It's a good one. Here comes Pee Wee Flick to the low side of Kunkel. They battle it out for the 2nd place position. Up through the field comes Stanford to 98. Hanging on to it in 89 is Don Luffy's in that car. Oh, look at Alex May's car and Jimmy Bickerstaff coming up through the field. Into turns 1 and 2, it continues to be Bayshar with the point position. Pee Wee Flick goes to the outside of him. Stanford gets the car crossed up, and the number 98 Chevelle slows down the back straight. He picks up the pace once again. Coming up through this field is Jim Bickerstaff Sr. as he moves into the 5th place position. Now Kunkel drops down from a position, and Pee Wee Flick takes the lead. Pee Wee Flick dirt tracks the automobile with the lead position. Here comes Bob Steiger. He moves into 2nd. Eddie Bayshar continues running in 3rd. Jimmy Bickerstaff Sr. is now in the 4th place position. Sets his sights on Eddie Bayshar. Good battles going on in the back of the pack, but right now we have a struggle for third down the middle of the back straight. Bayshore continues holding on to that point position, a former dirt semi-late driver, and he's holding off the asphalt late model veteran Jimmy Bickerstaff, who's run with the best of them in his glory days on the pavement. Into turns 1 and 2, the battle for the lead. Bob Steiger really peeling the rubber off the tires as he goes to the low side of Pee Wee Flick, and Steiger takes over the point position down the back straight. Steiger into the point position over Pee Wee Flick. Here comes Bickerstaff in turns 3 and 4 in the battle for third. Bob Steiger down the back straight continues on the point position. Bob, I've hit the stagger right on this one. Steiger continues out of turn 4 over Pee Wee Flick. The action out of 4 is good as Kunkel goes to the high side and Alex Makar goes to the low side of him. Bob Steiger continues on the point position, followed by Pee Wee Flick. A distant third is Jimmy Bickerstaff Sr. As Eddie Bayshore has fallen back through the field. Now he sits in the 4th place position. Here comes Bob Stanford on the low side of him. Bayshore denies him the opportunity. There's a good battle going on for the 4th place position, and Stanford is able to take it over. Bob Stanford in the 98 gets by Bayshore, moves up to the 4th place position, sets his sights on Jimmy Bickerstaff. Bickerstaff has some cosmetic damage to the left front of his automobile and smoking the tires through the turns. We'll be watching it. Lap 10, 5 laps remaining. It's all Robert Steiger out of turn 4. Continues fishtailing the automobile with time running out of this event. A distant second is Pee Wee Flick. All by himself is Mineral Ridge, Ohio's Jimmy Bickerstaff running in the 3rd spot. Bob Stanford in the 98 continues in 4th, and Eddie Bayshore hangs on to 5th by himself. The best battle on the track is Alex. Oh, look out! It's 1 and 2. It looks like the yellow comes out for Eddie Bayshore. Looked like he blew a right front tire and headed to the Steiger. Let's see what he does with it. Here we go. Green comes out. We're up to speed and racing, and here comes Pee Wee Flick. Look at Stanford! 3 wide down the front straightaway, race fans. And Bob Stanford hanging on to it. Oh, the rear end starts wiggling away on that car. He's still not to be denied the opportunity, and he shoots in to the 2nd place. Here comes Pee Wee Flick right back on the outside. We're fender to fender, lug nut to lug nut, wheel to wheel. Trademark on tire to trademark on sidewall. Continuing down the front straight into turns 1 and 2. Stanford trying to wrestle away that low side position from Flick. Stanford, the man on the move down the back straight, has lost that 2nd place position again to Pee Wee Flick, as it's all Bob Steiger out on the point position. This time around, 2 laps remain. Out of turn 4, Steiger continues dirt tracking the automobile. The white flag's out, 1 lap remaining. The best battle on the track is between Stanford in the 98 and Jimmy Bickerstaff Sr. They continue struggling for that 3rd place position. Pee Wee Flick dirt tracking the car in 2nd. Here we come out of turn 4, and the checker will be unfolded for the Pittsburgh Circle Track Club Senior Series winner, Bob Steiger. 2nd will go to Pee Wee Flick. 3rd is Bob Stanford for the Jim Bickerstaff in a battle for 5th. And it's Alex Makar getting it at the drop of the checker. That concludes our racing action for this afternoon, our 2nd and final Sunday afternoon event of the season. We thank you for coming out to enjoy your Sunday with us in the NASCAR.
This is what? Is this your second win in the senior series?
No, I don't even know how many wins I have. I raced real competitive one season, and then I backed off a second season. Then I did another good season. Then last year I only ran 3 races with the series.
Okay, it's a good start for you. The points coming up. A lot of money in the point fund for a senior series event. What are your thoughts about the rest of the year?
Well, that was one of the reasons why we put the car back together. My brother Buster and I, we put the car back together to run, you know, a little bit of asphalt shows and a little bit with the old timers, and, you know, try to get some of that sponsorship money back we put in.
Okay, and for some of the fans that don't know, tell them about the history of racing here. Why are you an old timer? You ran at North Hills, correct?
Yes, sir. I ran at North Hills, and I did run up here when it was Motordrome at one time. As a matter of fact, I even run one Sunday over to Roughdale track.
Okay, thank you very much, Bob Steiger.
Thanks again.
I'd like to remind all the fans that come out.